Now let's have a quick look about enabling the really nice new volumetric effects for the Gen4 Ocean. So this is a blank project and we're just going to open our Gen4 Ocean demo map and start making some adjustments for making it the underwater effects volumetric. So first of all, let's turn on the underwater effects, and for this we're going to enable underwater surface enable, and now we have an underwater surface. And next up, let's enable use underwater VFX. And because if we simulate this ocean, it has some pretty massive swells, we're going to enable unbound underwater VFX like so. Now, we're not really seeing too much of a change, and that is because at the moment the underwater post-processing material is set to volumetric mode. If we were to disable it, yep, we're getting our nice rays and everything working as expected. But in this case, since we'll be using volumetrics, we're just going to enable this back up. And really, for the most part, we're good with this material over here. Now, next up, it's important that our scene actually has volumetric fog. And for this, we should have an exponential height fog, which we already do in our level. Now, the thing that we need to do is enable volumetric fog here. Scattering distribution for underwater, we recommend of setting at something high like 0.8 or 0.9 ideally. And once this is done, because we're going to get some volumetric fog above right here, we recommend setting the fog density to something like 0.01 or maybe even lower. Actually, this is pretty good. So we still have some horizon haze. All right, next up, let's select our directional light. So this thing over here, search for volumetric in scattering intensity. Now in this case, just to make the underwater effects really pop, we like to set it to something really high, like let's try 50 for now, but we may need to increase this a bit further. And we should enable cast volumetric shadow to get the most out of the system. So this is looking pretty good. One more thing that we recommend adding just to make the effects even better looking underwater. Now, making some changes sometimes may cause the Gen4 Ocean to sort of reset some resolutions for render targets. This is an editor only issue. If your ocean becomes blocky like that, simply pause it and hit live again. But let's get back to our volumetric fog, and we need to search for blueprint underwater fog. And this is an actor that when we drag it into our level, it will simply apply some console variables, like you can open it a bit more and adjust these as needed. And we're now pretty much prepared to start rendering underwater effects. We need to select our ocean actor again, and we need to go to under volumetric fog, underwater fog enable. And you may notice a new parameter here, ocean pass downsample. Now this is because when we're rendering underwater volumetric fog, we're kind of computing an additional, well, ocean pass. And this can be quite expensive. If you're planning on a project or a game that's mostly underwater using volumetric fog, at the moment, the Gen 3 Ocean might be a bit more suitable for this because, well, technically the Gen 4 is more geared towards large swells and visuals above the water. But in this case, let's enable underwater volumetric fog. And now we could see that something weird is happening and it's kind of bugging out. And technically what is happening right now is that the underwater, this ocean pass will only render correctly during play for the time being. And now if we were to hit play, we could see that underwater volumetrics are now rendering as expected. So this is looking pretty good, but we're still not quite getting all the nice rays and stuff like that. So for example, to test something, let's just make this sphere really big so it's actually casting a volumetric shadow of some sort, just to make sure that everything is working as expected. And sure enough, yeah, we do have these nice gradients, the sun being blocked out, and all of that good stuff. But to get the most out of it, we need to go into Ocean and basically enable our FFT caustics. We can enable this here. We're not going to be using dynamic caustics at the moment. And the next one is which cascade should be responsible for the caustic effects. In this case, the ideal thing is to select the cascade responsible for the smaller details. So for example, if we were to select cascade, the second cascade here, which is for these massive swells, we're not really going to get a bunch of nice caustic details. So we're going to select Cascade 0, which is the water simulation here, which is basically these nice detailed simulation here that's actually baked. And once this is done, oops, let's get rid of this. We're going to search for caustic's light function over here. We're going to make sure that it is the one from the Gen4. Ocean material, ocean VFX, ocean caustics, and there we go. And these are basically our light functions, and to apply them, we need to grab our directional light and place one of these there. Let's grab, whoops, let's search for function here. Grab this bad boy, and now we should start seeing some of these light functions. And as you could see, they're pretty well matched with the ocean surface. They're getting a bit more intense the lower we go. And of course, the underwater volumetric fog right now is a bit bugged out because we are in editor mode. But once we hit play, you could see that the rays are being changed and everything is sort of degrading based on these massive swells. It's no longer a basic sort of height level function. And as we go deeper, these will kind of like fade away a bit further. Now, as you can see right now, they're not kind of fully going away. And these are all settings that you could tweak in either the light function itself, under these parameters, offsets and stuff like that. Now we have a full video where we go over all of these parameters as well as the parameters in the underwater volumetric fog, which you could access in the ocean actor under, we can just search for it, volumetric fog material. And here you have a bunch of color fall-offs and all this sort of good stuff to really fine-tune the underwater visuals. We have a couple of videos where we go in depth, but the main difference in the Gen 4 version is that basically you do need to be in play mode to preview it completely. If you do want to have a bit more control of editing it, you could just sort of in play mode hit F8 and start adjusting these values as well. And yeah, pretty much that's it. Go make awesome things.